Yo, yes, y'all. Yo, peace. So real quick, I feel like it's important to address some things and to be clear about some things. It's very important that I do this. So my reason for even jumping on a YouTube live or getting on somebody's platform and wanting to discuss, debunk, debate, however you want to describe it, right? Is because I've always had a strong passion and interest for music, all music from when I was a kid. I grew up with music around my house. I grew up with music in my family on both sides, black side, American black side, Latino, if you want to say New Yorican. If that helps you identify with Latinos or Puerto Ricans in New York, then we'll do that. So not only did I love music and still love music, all music, I love music. For real, for real. Certain music I'm not a big fan of, but at least I have a certain understanding of the origins of the music and what are the basics of said music. Whether it's even EDM music or whatever. The derivatives. Where did it start? Where did it come from? And the funny thing is, some of these music genres and some of this information, I would have never had the interest that I would have had if it wasn't for the so-called 50th anniversary of hip hop commemoration a few years ago. So that was what, 3 years ago, 2023. So my knowledge and passion for wanting to learn about music, the origins of music, origins of instruments, how music is played, who created the music, what were their influences, that's been through the roof in the last 3 years. I always was interested in reading the linear notes or the linear notes, however way it's pronounced correctly. If I ever pronounce that word again, I'll make sure it's pronounced correctly. So when in terms of the credits of who wrote the song, who produced the song, where was the song recorded at, even the pressing plant of where the vinyl was pressed at. Like I think that used to be on Prism Records, and when the Juice Crew was putting out music on Prism Records, they would have Herb Pump Powers, pause if that's a pause, Herb Pump Powers, the address of the record label, maybe the plant where the vinyl was pressed at. I used to be interested in all that, the colors on the albums, the artwork on there, the artwork on the covers of the the artwork on the actual disc itself, DISC. Yeah, just totally captivated from a child. Growing up in my crib, my aunt used to collect all type of records. My mother was heavy into music, so on and so forth, right? But I could use those two examples from when I was a kid and what sparked my interest in music. So, what sparked my interest in music the way it is today and the way it's grown over the years. So, when I have the type of interest in music that I've always had, and the type of interest in researching, if what I know to be facts or what I've experienced or what I researched is being challenged in some way, then I'm going to listen to the evidence from whoever is making whatever claims. I'm going to listen to whatever their position is, whatever they state, whatever evidence they cite, if they do have evidence to cite, and compare it with either what I already know, or I'll look things up and I'll research it. It's the right way to do things, right? This is very basic. This is 50 plus year old man vibes. This is not crashing out on the net. This is hopefully having debates and discussions that are civil and are based upon facts and not so much emotions and feelings. Yeah, people could raise their voices and get passionate. I do that. And excuse me if people are offended by it, but I do that. And the older I get, I've gotten better in watching my energy and tone. So I'll say that. But when you reach a certain age, or you somewhere in life and who you are, and pretty much who you always been, there's always a way to do things. So forget the insults and whatever you want to call it, slurs, insults, stuff like that. I'm not with that. I'm not with that. If I would have knew better back in the days, I definitely would have done better. So it's true. You knew better, you do better. So you do better with what you say and how you move. No question about that. Especially what you say. So me personally, I don't like myself to be misrepresented. I don't like what I say or what I stand for to be misrepresented. So on this particular topic, I wanted to be clear. So I'm going to do this. I just saw a video which addressed, I'm going to call him Doc. Doc stating that James Brown had a specific traditional Afro-Cuban, which he describes as a Latin rhythm, in one of his songs. I had never heard, and I thought I was a James Brown, I don't want to say expert, but I'm pretty familiar with a lot of his music because from high school, maybe even junior high school, because of hip hop specifically, I was drawn to James Brown's music, specifically because of hip hop. And in the mid 80s, from the mid to late 80s, so much of his music was being sampled, and so much of the same songs were being sampled, and so much of different parts of the same songs were being sampled. I was mesmerized at how great this man must have been, and the band that he employed and used as the soundboard and the backing for his arrangements and his great music and his iconic music, his universally accepted and sought after. So I don't need to get into all type of hyperbole about James Brown and his impact on music, on hip hop, and globally, what he means to your party, what he means to your music genres, how he helps sell things even to this day. So James Brown is quite the pillar in not only Black American culture, but American culture. Any way you want to look at it. So he's pretty much the go-to and the gift that keeps on giving in terms of what you could use James Brown for. So I'm saying all that to say that I was pretty well versed in James Brown songs. And one song I had never heard before that Doc mentioned was We Got to Change. So when the song comes on, you hear the congas or the bongo, right? And yes, that is guanguanco, right? That is We Got to Change. That is that. Now, the other day, last week, when I'm on his platform, and Give It Up or Turn It Loose was brought up. I may have misheard him previously, months before when this was brought up. I don't know if it was in the Latin jump off that he made, the little mini doc or the documentary he made or whatever. But I could have sworn I heard he said Guanguanco was also in Give It Up or Turn It Loose. Then it was said last week or after, again, I could have been wrong from the beginning, it's possible, but if he then said it was a follow rhythm, then I looked that up to be sure, and I don't hear the follow rhythm and Give It Up or Turn It Loose. And We Got the Change, I hear Guanguanco, right? And not only that, that does sound like what Green Eye Stan and FaZe was emulating in the Culture video years prior that I saw. So what they were saying in that particular video was there was a distinct difference between what Black Americans were doing at that time in Bronxdale or in the Bronx, right? That's their experiences, what they saw, and their experiences were very similar to other Black Americans at that time and other Latino Americans at that time. Listen to what I'm saying and listen to what I'm saying carefully. What I'm saying was there was distinct differences at a particular time, at that particular time, in between what people engaged in their at their social functions and how they interacted with one another. So if they said, if I'm not mistaken, Latinos or Puerto Ricans was playing congas and was doing what they were doing on one side, we was DJing and doing something, that's two distinct different things. People are enjoying themselves, they sharing a space, even if it's on different sides of a particular park or whatever the case is. They doing what they doing over there, we doing what we doing over here. It's a beautiful thing. Nobody is saying this one's race or culture is better. Nobody's saying this race or culture is better. People are doing two specific, different, distinctive things. Clearly, there's nothing wrong with making the distinction, especially if it's true. Now, I'm going to say again, what I heard Green Eye Stan and emulating when it came to them describing what the Latinos were playing in the park, it sounds like Guanguanco. It does. And that James Brown song, We Got Change, and Johnny Griggs was the conga player. That's what it sounds like. I'm going to say that. The follow rhythm that is said to be in Give It Up or Turn It Loose, unless proven to me otherwise, I don't hear it. And the point I was trying to make from the beginning, when, certain claims were made, is if you hear a specific, and again, I wanted to be clear in terms of what was being said specifically and in these claims. If an instrument has origins, well, every instrument has origins, but the origin of the instrument plays a part in a specific artist's composition, but ultimately it's the artist and not the instrument. An instrument is a monolith. It just is what it is. It's created to make sound, but only a artist and only somebody skilled enough and adept enough to play that instrument to its fullest potential, then the instrument is just that. It's just an instrument. Anybody could pick up drumsticks and a drum kit and start banging away, bang 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 bang, whatever, smashing the cymbals all crazy, hi-hats, with no rhythm, no timing, no concept of how to make, like no concept of how to make a rhythm, keep timing, and advance their skill level in said instrument. You would have to learn. Some people are self-taught. Some people have the gift to pick up any instrument and just start playing from their heart and just start creating, right? So my thing is, unless you can prove whatever artist, I don't care what nationality, what religion, what race they are, unless you can prove they had a specific influence in the creation of their art, I think it's erroneous to speak for them or to speculate without 100% proof. That's my point. No yelling, no insult, no slurs, no innuendo. That's all I'm saying. Prove it. Again, we got the change. Gongas, Johnny Griggs, Wang Guanco. Yes, I hear it. I hear it. Give it up or turn it loose. Follow rhythm. I do not. My statement is and was a lot of what artists do comes from their experiences. And yes, you could have been trained. You could have been trained properly by somebody who already was already fully experienced. And I get that. You have to learn the basics first. Training wheels, so to speak. And then after a while, when you start learning how to play, you could start making music of your own. That's truly your own music. And that's what I'm getting at. So my thing is that in anything, can you cite without, this is not a trial, but basically beyond a shadow of a doubt, if what you say an artist created was influenced by something other than themselves? Because art is personal to the artist. It is. Whatever you create, it's an extension of you. It's a symbol of you, of your experiences, your pain, your pleasure, your fantasies, your thoughts, aspirations, all that. So, again, my thing is, all you have to do is prove it. Just prove it. Again, primary sources are always going to trump opinions. Primary sources, their words on video, audio, print media, things that they said are ultimately going to be the proof in terms of what their influence was and how their creations came about. That's all I'm saying. Just prove it. And my point is, again, at the very beginning, the inception of what has been called hip hop, which that word, I think there's a lot within that word, the culture itself, what the word hip hop and phrase has become, what it represents now. I think it has to be rethought. It's probably not gonna be, but hip hop is a lot of things now in modern times. Hip hop kinda is, I don't want to say kinda, hip hop is what they consider black culture now. Love and Hip Hop, a TV show where mostly black Americans go in there, whether they celebrities or influencers or whatever they call themselves now, they'll go in there and act a whole fool. Ain't nobody rapping, nobody scratching, nobody break dancing. The only scratching that's going on is females fighting each other. The only dancing is when they in the club or on the yacht or somewhere and they drinking and doing whatever twerking they doing or whatever dances they doing. Basically, hip hop nowadays is degenerate black American behavior to the masses. That's what it turned into. For real. That's what hip hop kind of is. Hip hop no longer is whatever elements, and I'm not even 100% in agreement with all the elements that was said that hip hop is. But again, hip hop now is sold to everybody for the most part, if you're paying attention, as degenerate American behavior or black or degenerate urban inner city youth behavior, but primarily black behavior, because when there's criminality involved or there's poor behavior, like on a Love and Hip Hop, it's usually black folks on there, primarily, predominantly, or solely most of the times. Again, Love and Hip Hop, you don't see no rapping on there. You might see rappers on there, but even most of their music that's on there nowadays in modern times, ain't nothing nutritious in that music. Same template, materialism, disrespect, disregard for others. Oh, that's the way the world is. Life ain't what you make it. That's all that's going on. So, to close this out, I'm not with no division. I see the play. I see what's going on. I know what goes on in terms of what happened in the aftermath of said debates and debunking and all that. I don't know if everybody's experiences are mine. I stand 10 on who I am as a man and as an individual. Definitely as an individual. My whole thing is to be objective. I stand on truth. And yes, I heard the Afro-Cuban rhythm in that James Brown song. In that one song, I heard that. Other than that, this is not to get all wild, crazy Yosemite Sam with it and all that. Just prove whatever claims. That's all. That's all. So there might come a time when I speak more about this. Maybe, maybe not. But I said what I said. In that one song, I heard the similarity. I get it. It's understood. You proved it in that one song. The reason why there was any hesitance to believe said individual and their claims is because in the past, there's been disingenuous claims. There's been claims that have been refuted. There's been claims, or there's been things that are said that have been remixed, bounced, paraphrased, and not done coming from a place that I felt was a genuine place that you want to teach in truth with integrity. So I'm going to end with this, land the plane, however you want to describe it. I'm passionate about music, always been. Had a very good knowledge of music. I love music to this day, all type of music to this day. I don't have any racial overtones in what I say. There is none. And listen, man, anybody that really, really knows me, they know who I am. Really. No. Not, they know who I am. So let's not play. And this is not tough guy, whatever. This is based on me always being in tune with knowledge and being around multiple groups of people throughout my life. Friends, homies, neighbors, people I collaborated with music with over the years from a kid. It's pretty evident. So I'm not worried about opinions and claims or what you call that, or misrepresentations in my motives. So I'll say that. But yeah, hip hop from its inception, from information that I've gotten from people who were there of various races, inception, Black American culture. It grew to what it is right now. I don't know if people want to claim what hip hop is now. Do you really want to claim what it is now? Because it needs some fixing. Things got crazy since the inception. For the last 20 plus years, I don't know. You really want to claim this? You want to help clean it up? I do. So, and the way you fix things, you can go back to the beginning. I see the Chinese restaurant menu. Take it back to the beginning, start from the beginning, and then see what things went wrong. That would be my plan. That's what I would like to do. I used to read The Village Voice. Nelson George, Pause, you can get that free. I used to get that free when I used to go to Astor Place barbershop and get my flat top done. Hip hop's beginnings were being documented by Nelson George at that time, mid-late 80s. Grew up within what you can consider hip hop culture. So I come from a good place. When having these discussions, I know I'm well versed in hip hop history. I'm not afraid to learn. I'm not afraid to say I was wrong. So let's see if I come back one day, maybe not, maybe later, I don't know. Love and respect always. I'm always here for the truth. And anybody that supports, I salute you, I appreciate you. And if you really want me to make this a regular thing, I might oblige you. Other than that, I felt like this needed to be said. I felt like I had to state my position clearly, and hope that from here on out, the truth can supersede any negative energy, right? So again, let's stay focused on the truth. Let's be age appropriate in our conduct and discussion, and hopefully it don't have to be kumbaya, but hopefully we can coexist respectfully, and everybody will meet at the truth, wherever the truth intersects. So again, love and respect, peace to all that support. I appreciate everybody that has allowed me to speak on their platform. I always come to build and be as civil as possible. So moving forward, let's see where this goes. Let's see where this goes. Love and salute to everyone. Everybody have a great day. Peace.